coaching legend is about to grow even further. It could be that of Noel Dean, who has built a Dean machine in Lowell. The Red Arrows in pursuit of their 4th state championship in 9 years. Or there could be more legend for John Harrington, who has Farmington Hills Harrison in the championship game for the 18th time and looking for a state record 13th title. The shiniest final of the weekend at Ford Field is the Division II championship game between Lowell and Harrison, and it's here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody. Happy holiday weekend, and welcome to downtown Detroit. I'm John Keating, joined by former Lions great Herman Moore. Well, you're a guy who knows all about throwing and catching the forward pass, and Harrison comes in with a brotherly tandem that has been terrific all season.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They come in with Tommy and Jake Vento. They are fantastic. Together as a combination, they get a lot done for Harrison. You see them throwing and catching the football quite a bit. Tommy, over 2,000 yards passing the football, 26 touchdowns. His brother come in, averaging over 20 yards a catch. They're a dynamic duo, and they should be putting a lot of points and a lot of yards on the board for Harrison. But they also have a lot of other players who are going to make an impact on this football game.
And the familial ties run throughout this game. The quarterback for Lowell is Gabe Dean, who is the nephew of the head coach of Lowell. He won a state championship last year. He can run it, and he can throw it.
He absolutely can. Dean is a dynamic player as well, in that he has over 2,000 yards rushing the football, but also 1,500 yards, more than 1,500 yards passing the football. But his favorite target, Matt Houston, 64 catches, 10 touchdowns, 903 yards. They're going to look to combine and get some points on the board. This should be quite a game, coming out to a shootout between these two football teams.
Yeah, kind of the finesse of Harrison against the ball control of Lowell. We're looking forward to this one. As mentioned, it should be a terrific showdown for the Division II championship. Can Harrison wrap up a perfect season with a win for their legendary coach? Or can Lowell continue their amazing run of dominance throughout the decade? The Division II championship game is next.
A holiday tradition continues on Fox Sports Detroit with all the high school football you can gobble up. Feast on 8 MHSAA title games in 2 days with 7 of the games live on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. The action is non-stop as the top teams in each class vie for the crown at Ford Field.
Touchdown!
For detailed listings or to watch the game streamed live, go to foxsportsdetroit.com. It's the Michigan High School Athletic Association Championships. Today and tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit and Plus.
The MHSAA football finals are brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Back at Ford Field in downtown Detroit on a terrific day after Thanksgiving. And there is the legend, John Harrington, who has been coaching the Hawks since 1970. When the school opened, he was their first and has been their only head coach, trying to win a state record 13th state championship. Currently, Harrison shares that distinction with DePorres, but it's been all Harrington at Harrison. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, there is Noel Dean. What a monster of a program he has built in Lowell. In 15 years there, they have won 3 state championships, and here at Ford Field, they'll get a crack at a 4th. Lowell has won the toss, and they have deferred, and so Harrison will receive it. To get it started, it's kicked short, and from the 40-yard line, the Hawks will take off. Just a 9-yard return after Raymond Hall, one of the upbacks, picked it up and motored to the 40-yard line. Our G-Series prime to perform player for Farmington Hills Harrison is quarterback Tommy Vento. He was 12 for 26 with 253 yards and 2 scores last week versus Grosse Pointe South in the state semi, a 51-0 victory. The G-Series from Gatorade, 3 fuels for 3 stages of the game. Gatorade has evolved. That's G. Farmington Hills Harrison in the white jerseys with the yellow pants. It's Lowell in the red tops and the white pants and the black helmets, and all kinds of pressure from the Red Arrows, and Vento takes it around the left side, and he'll run out of bounds inside Lowell territory at the 45-yard line. A gain of 12 on the play for Tommy Vento.
Yeah, Tommy Vento does a great job getting outside the pocket. He tries to wave a player down the field. We've talked about it earlier in the open that he also, not only does he pass the football, but he also runs.
Nice block by Garris Coleman to spring Vento on a first down scamper. They'll mark it at the 47. Vento in the shotgun. He'll go up top. Almost a one-handed grab, almost a terrific catch by Aaron Burbridge, just a little bit too far outside, as we say in baseball circles. And let's take a look at some of the specialty guys for the Hawks of Harrison. Funchess and Burbridge and Vento, a three-headed monster for Harrison. And the guys up front, led by Mario Ojamudia. He is a terrific player on both sides of the ball, and you will hear his name a good deal here this afternoon. Still out of the gun. A flag on the play. And usually there is a procedure penalty of some kind that will go against the Hawks, to the great dismay of John Harrington. In his 41st year coaching football, at the varsity level anyway. Coached JV at North Farmington for a few years before that. He still calls all the offensive plays for the Hawks. First drive of the game. Jake Vento in motion. Brother Tommy Vento, the quarterback. Quick out, and his receiver, Burbridge, did not even turn around. So a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver there, and Vento threw it to nobody. That sets up a 3rd and 15 now for the Hawks. And Herman, this is not the kind of opening drive you want in a state championship game where you're trying to get some traction, you're trying to get a little oomph, a little momentum going. Yeah,
you want to get something going, an incomplete pass here or there, and then also couple that with a penalty, put you into this 3rd and 15 position, not where Harrison wants to start against a Lowell defense that's going to play stingy today.
Vento has to call a timeout as the Hawks are in all sorts of disarray. He is sending receivers to either side of the field. He didn't like what he saw, and so he'll take a timeout as we are just underway in the Division II championship game. We're glad you're with us. John Keating and Herman Moore in the Division II championship game, matching Farmington Hills Harrison and Lowell in downtown Detroit. And as we talked about in the open, these are probably the 2 most prominent programs in the state of Michigan meeting on this stage. Let's take a look at how each of them got here. Harrison battling their way past Grosse Pointe South, a 51-0 shellacking. In that game between Lowell and Walled Lake Central, Lowell actually had a 13-0 lead. Central came back and took a 14-13 lead, and then Lowell won it pulling away. And that led those two teams to this point where they're meeting at Ford Field, a place that is not unfamiliar for either program, although Harrison has not been here in a championships game since 2006, and the last time they won it was 2001. Vento now under center. Jake Vento in motion behind him. Almost fumbled the snap. Vento off his back foot. It's complete right at the first down marker to Aaron Burbridge. And he does have first down yardage, it would seem.
This is an excellent job by Burbridge, understanding how to get the defender up the field, turns, comes out of his break, running a deep comeback. Look at him catch the ball with his hands, going towards the sideline. Excellent pass by Vento, also knowing where to put the ball for his receiver to get the first down. Excellent execution.
Herman Moore knows all about that, having spent a good deal of time catching those kinds of passes in the Honolulu blue and silver. Burbridge is stopped for no gain. Let's take a look at who is manning the Red Arrow defense. Tyler Mitchell with a big stop there. And Johnny Destiny is a great story. We'll talk about him as today's game unfolds. Fleet and Watson alongside Mitchell, Drake, Young, Staley, and Lyman. Linebackers for Noel Dean and Osborne Meyer, and Matt Houston playing both sides of the ball. 2nd and 11 after a loss of 1 for the Farmington Hills Harrison Hawks. Tommy Vento, quick out back to Burbridge, who has become certainly one of his favorite receivers, and another positive yardage gain. That will lead to a 3rd and 2 for the Hawks.
You know, what I really like what Harrison is doing right now is they're really going with the quick step. They're looking to get the ISOs. They're playing man coverage in the secondary. He's able to get the ball out to his receivers, his playmakers. And as I mentioned, these guys average over 20 yards a catch. So they're dangerous when they have the football in their hands. You know, this is what they're looking to try and get accomplished early in this football game.
3rd and a long 2 for Harrison. Vento under center. Handoff to the up back, Derek Head. And he's finding the real estate tough going there. See if he nudged the pile enough for a first down, and he did. And so the Hawks will retain possession, and they will march on. Now at the 26-yard line of the Red Arrows of Lowell.
It seems that Harrison has regained their composure offensively, started to put together a successful drive that started out really slow, and then they've come out and they seem to have a little bit of a rhythm going here.
Trips left for the Hawks of Tommy Vento. Lowell loves the blitz, and they do. And to the air goes Vento, and that is too tall for Aaron Burbridge. Well beyond his reach to the back of the end zone. Some of these passes, I would think, Herman, just to sort of soften up the Lowell defense a little bit, creating opportunities for their running game should they choose to go in that direction.
Well, we knew coming in this was going to be somewhat of a shootout type of competition. Both quarterbacks like to put the ball in the air. But we've seen them go over to Burbridge quite a bit. Maybe they saw something on film that said, you know what, if we get some isolation on the outside, we're going to take our shots and our chances. You know, most of the passes have gone this way. Lowell is continuing to play that man coverage, so this could be interesting competition.
This is the 9th play of the drive. Drive that thus far has covered 44 yards. To the 26-yard line of Lowell. Vento from the gun. Little screen pass. Derek Head. Right back to the line of scrimmage before he is brought down by Ren Osborne.
There was good pressure coming in. You know, he had to double pump trying to find the screen out of the backfield. Good job checking the running back coming out, and then he had to double pump it. Lowell, you see the pursuit. That's what you want. Good stick and tackle, good wrap up, no yards after the initial contact.
John Harrington telling us his concern earlier in the week was the fact that Lowell sometimes will blitz 7 or 8 defenders. 3rd and 10 now for the Hawks. Vento pulls it back. He's got a man. Burbridge to the house. Farmington Hills Harrison, first blood in the Division II championship game.
And this is just pitch and catch. Excellent route on the inside by Burbridge. He's going to run inside, slant route, post. Quarterback's going to see him, get it to him, running it right into the end zone. Excellent job beating the defender. You know, a lot of times when you run that post route, you got to cross that defender's face. Excellent job of doing that in recognition by the quarterback and the receiver on the hookup.
Point after try by Brandon Buckner is up and good, and Farmington Hills Harrison with a quick 7-0 lead on Lowell as they battle here at Ford Field to determine the Division II championship on Fox Sports Detroit. A scoring drive that had, well, a couple of stops and starts to it, but ultimately it turned out just fine for the Hawks, with Aaron Burbridge completing a 10-yard, 59-yard drive. They were 3 for 3 on 3rd downs, and that is what wins championships.
You know, they even did that, having a 3rd and 15 and being able to convert on that sends a message to the defense that, you know what, we are coming out offensively, and that's Harrison. And no matter what you throw in front of us, we feel that we can keep the chains moving. So this is a good start for Harrison.
Buckner will kick it off. Jake Meyer and Matt Houston back deep, and it's Houston from the 5. Straight ahead past the 20. He's got all sorts of green in front of him. Inside Farmington Hills territory, all the way down to the 41-yard line before Jake Vento knocks him out of bounds.
That was an excellent job. You see the wedge form in front of him. He's going to get a lane that opens up right in the middle, wide open, and he only has 2 guys to beat. Only thing that's in his way is a sideline. Good pursuit and getting him out of bounds. But Matt Houston, you're going to hear his name today as well in the passing game for Lowell. He's a guy that showed his explosiveness even in special teams.
Stepped out of bounds at the 43, and from there, Lowell will take over their first possession of the championship game. Straight ahead, Leighton Watson. And our G-Series prime to perform player for Lowell is their quarterback, Gabe Dean. He accounted for 4 touchdowns last week versus Walled Lake Central in the state semifinal game, a 35-21 win. The G-Series from Gatorade, 3 fuels for 3 stages of the game. Gatorade has evolved. That's G. Second down and 7 for the Red Arrows of Lowell. It is Gabe Dean keeping it. He is stopped in the backfield by Christian Malaj. That's the sort of the misdirection that Lowell likes to run. And the Hawks weren't fooled at all. Look at the Lowell starting lineup. Schlosser in front, and Staley and Williams and Crook up front. Gabe Dean is the quarterback. He won a state championship last year for the Red Arrows. Leighton Watson, the primary back, and that is Leighton Watson. And he is dragged down from behind inside the 15-yard line by Raymond Hall. Watson, a guy who missed 5 or 6 games during the course of the regular season with a rather severe groin injury. A 29-yard pickup there, but he is just coming into his own.
This starts up front. Good blocking up front. You see the hole there. He has only one guy, Hall, to beat. Hall makes a shoestring tackle, saving a touchdown. But you know what? Watson is a guy that we're going to watch today. As you mentioned, he's out. He's been out of the game 5 or 6 weeks, but then came back and has a strong game.
Look at that average, almost 6 yards per carry, and a big chunk there, 29 yards to the 13-yard line. It's Watson again. No gain this time as Harrison stiffens, and Mario Ojemudia with 117 tackles this season comes up with one right there. He's alongside Huckleby of Elijah and Head and Michael Race. Take a look at the linebackers. It's a 5-2 formation with Head and Patton backing up the defensive line, and Burbridge, Bonner Wilson, Marshall, and Jake Vento in the defensive backfield for the Hawks. 2nd and 9 now. Gabe Dean under center. He'll keep it himself, and he'll squirt inside the 10 to about the 9 before he is brought down by a host of Hawks. And that leads to a 3rd at about 6. Herman Lowell trying to answer after the Hawks scored on their first drive.
I was going to say, it's kind of amazing how close the backs are to the line of scrimmage. I think that to give them a little bit of an advantage to get to the line a lot quicker, and anticipating they're going to open up a lot of those holes up front. And before you know it, the linebackers have to react a lot quicker to tackle these running backs.
Dean hands off to Watson. And he's trying to rumble his way toward the goal line. Mike Race among those leading the charge for the Hawks. And after a gain of about 3, that will set up a 4th down.
That's just good game tackling. They just stuffed them right there in the line, closing all the holes. And, you know, you get down in the red zone, everything gets really compact. So as a team, you have to be very alert, and you try and get outside. Any miscues on defense can easily result in a touchdown. And offensively, there's not a lot of room for error either.
Lowell had 0. That's right, 0 field goals during the regular season. And they'll go for it right here. On 4th and 4. Dean from the shotgun. Got some time to the end zone. Incomplete. In between 2 potential receivers in the Harrison end zone. Going initially for Reed Stormzan. But Dean's pass could not be hauled in, and so Harrison holds, and they will take the ball back over inside their own 10.
Yeah, Dean really has nowhere to go with the football. All the receivers are covered. He's throwing into double coverage on that last one. That's just great defensive effort and coverage by Harrison.
Tommy Vento getting a chance to start for the first time as a senior this year. Threw about 15 passes last year and limited opportunities, but there's a pitch to Burbridge, and he'll take it around the right side.
On this first drive, he's doing a lot of pitching and catching with Tommy Vento, using his hands, coming up with a big third down catch to convert to a first down, again digging it out. You see so many receivers miss balls like that, but Burbridge, you got to give him credit. This young man has shown his explosiveness and his contribution to this offense early in the football game and throughout the year. As you mentioned, 20 yards a catch, 7 touchdowns during the season. He's a special player.
On the pitch, a gain of 9, 2nd and 1 now for the Hawks of John Harrington. Handoff, traditional handoff this time, and it's Burbridge again. And he's beyond the first down marker, and they will move the chains, and the Hawks drive will continue. Already up 7-0 on Lowell, the defending champs in Division II.
And both teams putting together 2 impressive drives early on. Harrison able to convert theirs into points. Lowell getting all the way down inside the red zone, not coming away with anything, but both teams are really chewing up quite a bit of the clock.
Both teams using lots of formation. Vento now back under center. Full house backfield. Play action. Swings it on the right side to his brother Jake, who is probably drilled in the back, and so they will have a discussion about that when they get back to the house. That leads us to a 2nd and 4. Under 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Almost 20 yards per catch for Jake Vento. In fact, all 3 of the primary targets for Tommy Vento just beyond or right at 20 yards a catch. It's a scary offense that the Hawks are capable of mounting against any opponent. And Lowell is feeling some of that right now. Vento back to the air. It's Coleman. He makes the first defender miss, and almost the second and almost the third before he is pushed out of bounds after a gain of 11.
This is what you want to see as a coach. Quick little hitch pass on the outside. You got one defender to beat. He throws the defender to the ground. He still has the presence to try and get upfield. Breaks another tackle, and you know what? One saving tackle. This is almost going to the house. Yeah. Look at the strength. These receivers are tough on the outside. Vento's got to be impressed as a quarterback.
Yet another Hawks first down. Now at their own 35-yard line. A delayed handoff, and Lowell right there, and Aaron Burbridge feels the brunt of the Lowell defense. Loss of 3 on the play. Tyler Mitchell leading the charge for the Red Arrows of Lowell.
Good job up front, coming through the gap, able to get penetration in the backfield. That's what you want to see defensively. Your guys making stops there, disrupting the running attack. You know, Harrison hasn't really got a lot going in the running game. Their pass has been their strength. Lowell doing a very good job in stuffing the run.
Already 5 first downs for Harrison. Sam Young, the linebacker for Lowell, disrupting that play. Vento back out of the gun. 2nd down. Back to Burbridge. They love that little out pattern. Positive yardage out to the 39-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down for the Hawks.
They're doing a good job. You know, if Vento is able to get Burbridge the ball while he's up and not taking him to the ground sometimes, he makes someone miss, then that could potentially result in more points or larger gains. But he's had to go down and dig a few of those out using his ability as a pass catcher, showing he has very good hands.
Only a junior, but we're already seeing the timing between he and the senior quarterback, Tommy Vento. 3rd and 5. Vento met in the backfield, almost dragged down. He gets out of it. His pass is incomplete. The attempted target, brother Jake, but there is a flag on the play, and holding is the initial call against the Hawks of Harrison.
52. Red captain. Holding on the offense. Penalties declined. 4th down.
The dulcet tones of Chuck Walters, broadcaster wannabe. Penalty called on Lito Zeffi, and is of course declined by Lowell, and that forces the Hawks into a punting situation. And Jake Meyer is back deep in punt formation with Jake Vento, the punter. So we could be going Jake to Jake here. We shall see. Booming kick by Vento. Fair catch called for by Meyer inside the 20-yard line. And from there, Lowell will get back in business. Down by a touchdown in the Division II championship game at Ford Field. FoxSportsDetroit.com is the new destination for live streaming of MHSAA championship events in several sports throughout the school year. If you can't be there in person, remember to watch the drama and excitement of state finals competition on the web at FoxSportsDetroit.com. We're glad to be along with you on Fox Sports Detroit Plus on this Friday after Thanksgiving. We trust that you and yours had a terrific holiday. We've all opened our belt another notch or two. Lowell, 1st and 10. Dean looks up top. He's got a man just beyond the reach of Matt Houston. Gabe Dean had his target. Just overthrew him by a 10.
You know what? He had him wide open on the fake. You see him do an excellent job with the fake. He's looking up top on the post route. Houston gets behind the defender, just overthrows him. That's a foot race.
Gabe Dean, a guy who's said by his coach to have all sorts of savvy. He's also a wrestler, and his father Dave, who happens to be Noel Dean's brother, was a competitive wrestler at the University of Minnesota. All Big Ten wrestler was his father. And Gabe wrestles at 189, and you see those numbers. Boy, those are just eye-popping. Almost 2,000 yards rushing and passing. 2nd and 10. It's Watson sort of twisting his way for a gain of a couple before he is knocked down by Mike Rice. Mike Rice, a 5'10", 180-pound junior. Already with a couple of tackles in this game.
And we've seen Watson a few times try and take it right up in the gut. Good job wrapping, getting them down. You know, he had one big run. Other than that, the running game has more or less been stuffed by Harrison's defense. But at some point, you got to imagine Watson, who's their big back, he's their guy that they want to get going in the running game along with Dean. This is a team that can put some points on the board with the running the football, but passing the football, they got to get something going downfield with Houston.
Correct that. Mike Rice is a senior, not a junior. I think he just would have about fainted if somebody would have told him he's still got one more year of high school to go. Look at Gabe Dean find the sideline, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A Lowell first down. Winning a sprint to the sideline was Gabe Dean after a gain of 14.
Yeah, the chance you take, he does the run fake again, comes outside the pocket. He's not afraid to take off and run. He saw nothing out in front of him, took off upfield. That's why he has 2,000 yards rushing this year, showing he can get it done with his legs as well.
His uncle Noel Dean says it's no big deal for him to be coaching his nephew. He treats all the kids on his team the same, to the great chagrin, I think, probably sometimes, of Gabe Dean, his quarterback. Watson straight ahead. Tough yardage to the 40-yard line. There is Mario Ojemudia with a stop, adding to his already impressive tackle total. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. The only score thus far has been put up on the board by Farmington Hills Harrison. They lead the defending champion Red Arrows of Lowell 7-0. After one at Ford Field will continue on this Friday afternoon here on Fox Sports Detroit. Lowell with the ball and driving. And we talked about this at the beginning of the show, the connection between quarterback and wide receiver. Here's Gabe on Matt Houston.
He's just very athletic. He's one of our superstars. Kind of, he gets open all the time. He runs great routes. I'm very happy he's on my team and not the other. And he really makes a quarterback look good because he can go up and get balls, and he dives for him and stuff. So he's just a very hard worker too, and a great athlete. And I'm happy he's on my team.
10 touchdowns connected between Gabe Dean and Matt Houston in the Red Arrow season thus far. First play of the second quarter. It's Watson straight ahead, and they are finding that the line of scrimmage is tough against Farmington Hills Harrison for Leighton Watson. Evan Patton with a knockdown. And you see statistics that would sort of reflect a 7-0 lead for Farmington Hills Harrison. Well, time of possession almost even.
One of the most interesting stats is the passing yards. See, there's 96 to none for Lowell.
3rd and 5. Gabe Dean to the air. He's got a man. Jake Meyer working his way across the field. Trying for the end zone. Did he get in? Knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Jake Vento with a stop to prevent a touchdown, but a huge play for Lowell has them in business inside the 5 after a gain of 56 yards.
This is good protection up front. Dean doing a great job getting the ball to his receiver where he gets it in stride, puts it, watch this switch, puts it in the outside hand, puts the ball in the right hand, takes it down the sideline, almost in for the touchdown. What a big play. Gabe loves it. Team's back in business.
Looking to answer the only score of the game thus far. Dean to the end zone. Touchdown.
Dean's going to go ahead and cap off. After a big pass, he's going to cap it off with a touchdown. You know what? This is what you need to do. Anytime a team gets up on you like Harrison did, you come back and you answer the bell by putting points on the board. Lowell has done that all season. This is going to be an excellent, excellent football competition.
He covered up with both arms as he got toward the goal line. Point after try is up and good, and so we are even. It is 7-up in the Division II championship game early in the 2nd quarter, thanks to yet another touchdown scamper by Gabe Dean. An 80-yard drive was capped off by a 2-yard run by that man, Gabe Dean, and we are 7-7 in the Division II championship game between Harrison and Lowell. Now all of a sudden Farmington Hills Harrison will have to answer the bell, and they will have to respond to a challenge as Lowell got off to a bit of a sluggish start, but the Red Arrows have awakened mightily. A very impressive drive.
That was 2 really good series by Lowell, both offensively and defensively.
Kick almost went out of bounds before Vento picks it up. He's working his way all the way back across the field, trying to find a seam. He'll get to the 27-yard line, and it's from there Harrison will take over. Not exactly your textbook kickoff, Mr. Moore.
No, it wasn't. It looked like the ball was going to go out of bounds. It bounces back into the field of play. Vento picks it up, gets a really good block on the outside by Dexter. If he can pick up one more block, he has nothing but real estate in front of him. Kind of an awkward play, but either way, it turns out good for Harrison.
Great job of awareness by Jake Vento with his back to the team that was rushing toward him. Tommy Vento right back to the air, finds his brother Jake Vento to the middle of the football field and literally to midfield. Pierce Watson with a stop after a gain of 21.
They start with a trip set to the right, real quick 3-step drop. Vento takes it inside, yards after the catch. You don't want to see that on the defensive side. Offensively, coaches love it. You want to see your guys after they get the short pass convert that into 10, 15 more yards.
And yaks are huge. Yards after the catch. Another flag. Illegal formation, perhaps. Let's let Chuck tell us.
Yep. Dead ball. Encroachment on the offense. Still 1st down.
All right, so Harrison will be knocked back 5 yards. And from the 46-yard line, they will scrimmage against Lowell in a tie game. John Keating and Herman Moore with you from Ford Field. Our producer is Mark Isofano, our director Jeff Mitchell, and our award-winning Fox Sports Detroit crew. Thrilled to be with you on the day after Thanksgiving and a game that we anticipate to be one of the best of the weekend. Tommy Vento back in the shotgun for Harrison. Back up top. The Another one of those out patterns to Coleman this time. Just beyond his reach, off his fingertips, incomplete. And that will take us to a 2nd and 15 for the Hawks.
You know, I like what they're attempting to do with the quick passing game. One, that's a great way to frustrate a defensive pass rush, even though if you notice Lowell's front guys, I mean, they're standing up, many of them. You only 1 or 2 guys are down, so that creates a little bit of confusion for your offensive line because you don't know who's going to rush and who's going to bail out of there. So we have something to watch to see if that gets to be a little bit more interesting during the game.
8 for 13 thus far for Tommy Vento. The throw again. The blitz comes. Back up top. Burbridge. A sensational catch beyond the defender, Jake Meyer. Out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And Harrison knocks on the door yet again.
You got everything really happening well on this play. You get great pressure from the outside coming left. You see Tommy take a big hit, but he gets the ball up in the air. The key here is he puts air under the ball, allows his receiver to run right up under it. Burbridge did a great job picking up the football. A lot of receivers will keep running and not be able to pick it up either early or late. Excellent job between receiver and quarterback on that execution.
33-yard pickup to the 23-yard line. Vento from under center, back to the air. And he has a receiver, Raymond Hall this time, but he is met behind the line of scrimmage. There is a flag on the play. Illegal motion against Farmington Hills Harrison.
No, motion on the offense, 5-yard penalty is declined. 2nd down.
So from the 25-yard line after the loss on 1st down, Lowell will decline it, setting up a 2nd and 12. In and out goes Tommy Vento from under center back to the shotgun. Brother Jake in motion. 1-step drop. Beyond the reach of Coleman, who got kind of twisted around along the near sideline. Incomplete. And that will take us to 3rd and 12.
You know, Lowell is really starting to bring guys off of the edge. And you see twice in a row, the quarterback takes a hit, and he's got to get the ball out. That ball's almost intercepted, still in play.
You see a conversation there between John Harrington and Tommy Vento. Harrington laughs about it, says he is always getting grief from his quarterback, and his quarterback always has ideas about what kinds of plays they should be running. What he sees there, he's one of those film rats. He lives for this stuff and began developing that as a quarterback as a junior. Now he's a senior in a championship game at Ford Field. Snap from center is low. Vento with several red arrows in pursuit. Can't get a great pass off in the direction of a potential receiver. That falls incomplete. Jake Vento, the nearest Hawk to him. And this one was sort of doomed from the start.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a low snap. It throws the rhythm off in the passing game. But even more so, there's the pressure that's continuing to come. You got 3rd and 12 yards to go. And when they bring pressure, you got hot reads. You got to try and get the ball out early. So everything was kind of stacked against them from the beginning.
Sam Young and Jake Staley big defensively on that play for Lowell. Brandon Buckner to try a 42-yard field goal. And that won't make it to the goal post. The field goal try is short. Lowell stiffens, and they hold, and we stay tied at 7.
Harrison came out pretty explosive in the beginning of the football game. You know, got off to a little bit of a shaky start, then started to gain some momentum, put some points on the board. There was a little bit of question about whether or not Lowell's defense was going to be able to hold up to the pressure. You see there's an opportunity to put points on the board. Nothing doing. Harrison not able to convert. Lowell doing an excellent job in the last 2 defensive series against an explosive offense.
It's important to be patient in one of these games, isn't it? I mean, you can't get down when you've got a drive that's motoring right along and it just ends up that way. Dean takes it off the right tackle, gain of a couple of yards.
Anytime you get in a game that's tight like this, you know, the penalties as they start to mount become an issue. We saw that really hurt Harrison on their last drive. However, You know, we haven't seen any turnovers in this point in the football game. That's something to kind of look for. We don't want that to happen when you have such a close competition between two ball teams.
They credited him with a 3-yard gain. And straight ahead goes Watson before Christian Malage comes up with a tackle after another 3-yard gain. This takes us to 3rd and 4 for the Red Arrows of Noel Dean.
It's funny.
Look at Leighton Watson.
I was going to say, it was funny on that last play. I think Gabe Dean saw something there, signaled over to the sideline as if he could have kept that one. He had some room on the outside edge.
Dean turns and hands off to Watson. And Harrison's defensive line has truly been impressive in the early going in this Division II championship game. And Huckleby with a stop after a gain of 2. And it would seem that Lowell will punt it away. They're at their own 29-yard line. They do not have a punter, at least in punt formation. And that forces Harrison to take a timeout. So with under 8 minutes until halftime, John Harrington will bring the troops together, as will Noel Dean, and we'll continue. Fourth and 1 now for Lowell. Dean looking for some running room, and he's got some. He's got more than some. And he is tripped up in Hawk territory. Raymond Hall with a stop. 4th and 1, a gutsy call by Noel Dean. And his nephew Gabe Dean gets the first down and more. A 24-yard pickup. And the Red Arrows stay in business.
You know, Harrison almost had an opportunity to get him in the backfield. Dean doing an excellent job breaking the loose arm tackle. Hall again making a shoestring touchdown-saving tackle, as we saw earlier in the game. What a big play on 4th down.
Yeah, that deep in the field position. Gabe Dean, a tough running back, as is Leighton Watson. Off right tackle he goes to the 45-yard line before senior Mike Race comes up with a tackle. Gain of just a couple. So Noel Dean's maybe not a guy you want to play poker with. I think Harrison thought that, well, let's take a timeout. We'll have them rethink about it. They'll punt it to us, and we'll be golden. We'll be back in position with the football, but 4th and 1. Lowell comes up with a big play, and their drive continues. 2nd down. Little misdirection, and Dean tries to find some running room after spinning to the left side. And there he is met by 3 Hawks. Among them, Christian Malage, Lamar Marshall. Another 3rd down situation for Gabe Dean and Lowell.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an awkward-looking play, you know, after the run fake. I don't know if he turned to go to the right and then ended up going to the left, but didn't amount to many yards there. Good pad level defensively up front by Harrison's front down lineman, really not creating that line of scrimmage, moving back to their side of the ball.
3rd and 6. Dean from the shotgun. An empty backfield. He's got a man. And it's Houston. And he is beyond the 1st down marker, and so the drive will continue. Evan Patton with a stop after a gain of 7.
This happens because he has a lot of time in the pocket to find and let this, you know, kind of take place. Houston doing a really good job of understanding where the chains are, sitting down in between the defenders in the zone. Sometimes you see receivers overrun that. He was able to find the soft spot in defense, pick up the 1st down, keep the chains moving.
Is there anything more maddening than a pass that falls short of the 1st down marker?
Drives coaches crazy.
Yeah. 1st and 10. More tough yardage inside for Leighton Watson. Devin Funchess among the ball carriers for the Hawks of Farmington Hills Harrison. There's 6 to play until halftime now.
I know it's early in the football game, but when you can start to put together drives and sustain drives early in the football game, you start to wear down the other opponent's defense. I think that's what Lowell's doing right here. And, you know, the big 4th down play will come in to be a factor, especially if this comes out to be points, because they had an opportunity to just point and play, punt away and play defense. But here, decide to keep the ball in their hands and give their offense an opportunity.
Watson straight ahead. Harrison knows that's coming. He's going ahead with a stop. The positive yardage for 5'11", 190-pound senior running back Leighton Watson. He had 21 carries and 144 yards in their semifinal win against Walled Lake Central. Sort of under-recruited, says his head coach. He's got some possibilities ahead of him as people find out about Leighton Watson. 3rd and 2. Watson again. Dragging would-be tacklers to the 15-yard line. After a gain of 13, the Lowell Red Arrows drive rumbles on.
A good blocking up front, but more hard running by Watson. Look at the arm tackles, just sheds them off. At the end, Marshall's the only guy there to bring him down. But it's just good, really good running by Watson.
Lowell basically has won 3 different state championships, 3 different ways, and mixing it up a little bit here today. You see Leighton Watson already with 74 yards accumulated, and we are a long way from halftime. Still 4 minutes away. Pile up after a short gain by Watson, adding to his total. Gain of a couple.
It's been a very good drive by Lowell, really controlling the clock, controlling the game. Started out not really knowing offensively what they were going to come out attacking-wise. They really stuck to their guns with the running attack, and it's paid dividends for them.
Well, the head coach says we are what we are. Aren't many surprises at this stage. There's Gabe Dean. He breaks 1 tackle. He's to the 5. Lamar Marshall with the stop, preventing a touchdown. Gain of 7.
There's been a lot of broken tackles. These guys are going to come down. You've seen the rushing yards, 2,000 yards. You know, it's going to be tough to bring them down with just an arm tackle. You really got to wrap them up. Both he and Watson doing a very good job of shedding that first guy, getting the extra yardage.
Yeah, Harrison's getting the penetration. That's the first order of business, but you got to do something once you get there. On 3rd down, Lowell with 6 conversions in 7 tries. And they're facing first down now, 1st and goal. So they get 7 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions for the Red Arrows of Gabe Dean and company. Lowell with state championships won in 2002 and 2004 and 2009. They lost twice during their regular season. Farmington Hills Harrison perfect thus far and looking to continue that here with a win in the championship game. Dean, great fake to Watson, and then he spins his way outside and in. Touchdown Lowell. What a drive.
He's going to step down the line. We've seen this play so far this game. Again, the missed tackles are the things that's hurting Harrison. Dean doing a good job taking it into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Great fake, putting it in the belly and then taking it out of the belly of Leighton Watson. And Dean takes it in himself. On the point after try, there was a flag.
Dead ball, encroachment, and the defense.
So with 2.5 to play until halftime. Caleb Schultz on for the point after try. Kick is up and it is perfect. And Lowell has a 14-7 lead.
Good blocking up front, good fake into the line. Gabe Dean keeping the football as we've seen him do, going in basically untouched with the exception of the initial part. Lowell doing an excellent job of controlling the tempo on the ball on that last drive.
7 minutes on the scoring drive for Lowell. That drive was a thing of beauty, and It's Gabe Dean taking it the final couple of yards. And Dean would be the head coach of Lowell. And Noel Dean has this thing down pat. Last year, the Lowell defense held Inkster's All-American quarterback Devin Gardner, and the Viking offense with just 166 yards in offense on the day. And Gabe Dean ran for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lowell cruised to a 27-6 victory and the Division II state championship, and they are looking to back that up with one here today. And they're a touchdown to the good as we're 2.5 minutes until halftime here at Ford Field. Noel Dean now 15 years at Lowell. And it's not just building a team, it's building a football program. And they do that. They start kids playing football in Lowell from the age of 4 on with flag football. And eventually they morph them into tackle football, but they're all playing the Lowell system. And that was something that Noel Dean began building when he made his way there from Burton Bendel on the east side of the state. A high and short kick goes out of bounds. So penalty flags fly. And let's get the confirmation of what we know to be true. Chuck. Chuck.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. The ball spotted at the 35-yard line. First down.
And speaking of, you know, somebody has to step up. Guys like Chuck there. Referees, umpires, starters, and judges step up in near record numbers every year, but it's never enough. More people need to step up to help make these kids' games possible. Getting started is easy. To become a registered high school game official, call or click the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Farmington Hills Harrison now from their own 35-yard line. Lowell showing blitz, bringing some of it. Vento back to the air, and his pass is beyond the reach of his brother Jake Vento, and so that will be 2nd and 10. Now with an even 2.5 to go until halftime.
They're trying to attack up the field, really trying to get Jake on the scene, Jake Vento on the scene. A little bit more air on that. He has an opportunity to run past the defender. Lowell still playing a little man coverage in the secondary, which is a little bit surprising, but they've done a really good job and has allowed them to put some pressure up front and also commit more guys to the line of scrimmage.
Back to the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right for Tommy Vento. And he will look to pass. Step up in the pocket, find some room, and he's got a man. And his brother Jake will dance his way down the sideline and out of bounds. A gain of first down yardage after 18 yards in ground gain.
Yeah, first things first, anytime you get pressure, you got to escape from the pocket. He's able to find his receivers and locate. Keeping his eyes upfield is key here. Receivers staying active. A lot of times guys quit on plays, but here Jake's showing you why you don't quit on a passing route. Quarterback's always looking for you.
They'll come out with roughly the same formation. Vento from the shotgun. That's Tommy Vento. Little swing pass to his brother Jake, and he's got positive yardage. Down the far sideline he goes with blockers in front of him. A play that did not seem to be much quickly evolved into something very, very special. Aaron Johnson with a great block along with Devin Funchess. It's a caravan down that sideline.
It's an excellent job on the receiver screen. You got to get blocks up front. Receivers doing a really good job of blocking out front. He's got people in front to get him down the field. Then he's going to try and get around the one guy. He's got to make miss here, but he can't. Vento doing a really good job first catching the football and then being able to get down the sideline following his blockers.
42-yard pickup for the Hawks. Vento, they're doing it all through the air here. Pass is incomplete, attempted to reach Aaron Burbridge and beyond his reach. And that will take us to 2nd and goal. $1:48 to play until halftime. Farmington Hills Harrison trying to answer right back. They have won 12 state championships, have the Hawks. And 5 of those have come against teams with Western Michigan ties. Fruitport in 01, Creston in 99, Hudsonville in 98, Forest Hill Central in 94, and Muskegon Catholic Central in 81. Can they add Lowell to that list? We shall see. Tommy Vento under center now, full house backfield. Fakes the handoff, little play action. Got a man! In and out of the arms of Devin Funchess. 3rd and goal for Harrison.
Funchess is their leading wide receiver. That's the first time we've heard his name today. Looking for him to try and sneak into the backside on that last play. You know, it's a little bit of a delay. He's trying to find him in the back. Puts it up there, right where only his guy can get it. And that's what you tell your quarterback. You know what? Put it on the outside, especially in the end zone area. You don't want to have that result in any type of an interception.
21 passes out of the 28 plays that Harrison has run thus far. Vento from the shotgun. Here comes yet another one. Incomplete. Attempted to reach Garris Coleman. And Tommy Vento will go speak to his coaching staff, a little upset with Tommy Vento.
He's a little upset on that one because what he's looking for is a fade stop. He wants to get the ball out really quick. On the outside, you're going to push as a receiver, try and get that guy towards the back of the end zone, and then come back, and the quarterback's putting it on your backside shoulder. A little miscommunication there between receiver and quarterback.
Harrison trying to get some points on the board. Brandon Buckner will try a 22-yard field goal. It is up, and it is good. 1:32 until halftime, and Farmington Hills Harrison completes a drive with a Buckner field goal, and that cuts the Lowell lead to 14-10.
And wasting any time getting that ball up and down the field. A couple of explosive plays. You saw in the last stat that their choice of weapon is really the passing game, putting the ball in the air. They got some explosive guys on the outside. First time we saw a pass happening at the end of this second quarter to Funchess. Came into the game with 34 catches, 709 yards.
So much tradition for that man, John Harrington. You kind of have to treat all these teams like your kids, right? You can't think one of them is any special than another, right?
They compare very well, but I never rank teams. That makes it too tough at reunions, you know. But I will say this about this team. I think they played one of the toughest schedules that we have played. And they've met the challenge every time, so I'm very proud of them.
John Harrington with 12 state championships, all at Farmington Hills Harrison. That is a state record for schools. St. Martin de Porres, which is now no longer with us, had that distinction with more than one coach. So Harrington looking to add to his legend and trying for his first state championship since 2001. So Harrison will kick it off to Lowell as the Red Arrows look to answer and make some noise before we take a break for halftime at Ford Field. Buckner from the 40, little pooch kickoff, and it is caught at the 34-yard line. We just talked about all those titles won by Farmington Hills Harrison. They won 5 straight from 97 to 2001. East Grand Rapids will play for their 5th straight title this weekend, but it was Harrison that became the first school in Michigan to accomplish that feat. 97 to 01, the Hawks were unrivaled and were hands down the best in Division III at that time. Over that stretch, they produced the likes of Drew Stanton, who would go on to star at Michigan State, and of course now with the Lions. Shavai was Stanton's top receiver over this stretch, and he would go on to play at Michigan State. And so now Farmington Hills Harrison trying to stop Lowell as they look to get some points on the board as we play late in the first half. Gabe Dean on the carry, a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 now for Lowell. They've got their own history that they are establishing, are the Red Arrows. And we mentioned the Tommy Vento in his coach's grill a good deal. We're seeing that on the sideline. Coach John is saying, hey, can I watch the game here, Tommy? Dean to Watson. He's met by 3 or 4 Harrison Hawks. Lamar Marshall, the lead guy for Harrison on that stop. Loss of 1 on the play. John Harrington told me he basically is sort of leaving the defensive signal calls to his defensive coaches. Special teams as well are handled by others. He still calls all the offensive plays. That's why Tommy Vento was looking for some alone time with his head coach. We can do this. I see this. His team right back in it.
He says Vento likes to come over and let him know anytime he sees something there. He has a good head on his shoulders and good sense of football.
Last play of the half. Watson straight ahead. Derek Head with a stop. Well, they had a tick left on the board, but they melted that one off, and so we have found our way to the midpoint of the Division II championship game. It has been everything that we anticipated it would be. Lowell, the defending state champs. They've done it with a running game. Lots of yards on the ground here, Herman.
Yeah, Watson doing a very good job early in the football game, establishing the running game. Also, Dean doing an excellent job running as well as passing the football. They haven't really had to rely on the passing, but it's been the missed tackles that has allowed them to get into this football game after getting off to such a slow start. Dean, just an explosive guy. He's dynamic. He's a dual threat. And then you got Watson, the big back. He's using his power and his strength. And then it's all about play selection. They're going with their bread and butter, which has been their running game. 26 rushes, 4 passes. That's been the key for Lowell.
Almost the opposite of that for Farmington Hills Harrison. They have picked up most of their yardage through the air, but I guess that's what makes a terrific championship game. There's lots of recipes, I think, for ultimately getting the prize won, and we're seeing that, a 4-point game at halftime at Ford Field. Head coach of the Red Arrows of Lowell, the leading team at halftime, Noel Dean, is joining us now. Noel, it's John Keating and Herman Moore upstairs. Your thoughts on the first half? What's your degree of satisfaction thus far?
Well, I'll tell you, it's just nice to be in the game still. A little surprised by that, and we're just going to keep whacking away at them. If you know anything about our roller coaster boys, we're going to make a game out of it here in the third quarter, I'm sure of it. We just got to come out with a little better focus than we have over the years, or the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Coach, given the fact that Harrison likes to throw the football, will you continue to play man on the outside against their receivers?
Well, you know, that's not really anything that I concern myself with. I got a defensive staff that does that, and I don't really get involved in their business. I know that we're out-athleted there, and, you know, the idea of putting pressure on them before they can get good routes off, and I'm sure I think that's a risk that our defense is willing to take, because if we don't pressure that quarterback, there's no way we're going to sit back there and cover those kids. They're better players than what we are. We're just trying to hold them as close as we can.
You're doing fine. Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Herman.
Head coach Noel Dean and the Red Arrows up 14-10 at the break at Ford Field, thanks to a touchdown run from his nephew, Gabe Dean. When we come back, we'll look ahead to tonight's Pistons game against the Bucks on Fox Sports Detroit. Farmington Hills Harrison has done most of their work through the air. Tommy Vento, a big first half. It's been Lowell on the ground thus far, and the Red Arrows have a 14-10 lead at halftime of the Division II championship. Lots of football here at Ford Field on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. The Red Wings will play the Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus later tonight on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. But on our main channel at Fox Sports Detroit, the Pistons are in action tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks, with a preview of what we have in store for you in that regard. Here are George Blaha and Greg Kelser. Guys?
Tonight, the Pistons entertain the Milwaukee Bucks. And, Gregory, when I think Milwaukee Bucks, I think big Andrew Bogut and the dynamite point guard, Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, Brandon Jennings is quite the player already in his young NBA career. Left-handed, loves the open court. They give him a lot of freedom with Scott Skiles. And, you know, Milwaukee is a better defensive team as well. Now, you mentioned Jennings, you mentioned Bogut. But, you know, the guy that really helped turn them around last year, George, was John Salmons, who, by the way, averaged 19 points per game in 2 games against the Pistons. This is one of those teams, the Milwaukee Bucks, that will be fighting the Pistons for those last few playoff slots. This promises to be a very good basketball game.
Andrew Bogut, a shot blocker, and each year seems to get better. If he stays healthy, he will probably help deliver Scott Skiles another playoff berth. And Scott and the Bucks went down in a tough series in round 1 last spring to the Atlanta Hawks. Greg and I are looking forward to it.
All right, guys, thanks. The second leading scorer for the Bucks, in fact, Carlos Delfino, who spent 3 years as a member of the Detroit Pistons. That game later tonight. Already one high school football game contested and finished here at Ford Field. The Division 8 title has been decided. We'll take a look back at what turned out to be a rather one-sided affair. It's as much a part of football games as football players. The marching band for the Red Arrows of Lowell entertaining those in attendance here at Ford Field on the Friday after Thanksgiving. 14-10, Lowell on top of Farmington Hills Harrison. We have talked about the family connections in this game. The Vento brothers on one side and Gabe Dean being the nephew of the head coach Noel Dean on the other side. One game already contested today, that between Saugatuck and Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. And this one, well, this one went all Sacred Heart. 14 did they score in the first quarter. That included a 20-yard run from Bennett Myler. And then it was Mitchell Myler with a 7-yard touchdown run. And then Myler back to the air. He'll find Matt Mills, a 66-yard hookup here. And you kind of get the idea that the Fighting Irish were sort of enjoying this one. Mitchell Myler, with a 33-yard connection with Ryan Grinzinger. And then a 47-yard punt return for Matt Mills in the third quarter. And you see that Saugatuck was just sort of overmatched. A terrific comeback by Saugatuck in the second half to make this game, well, a little bit more palatable from the Saugatuck side of things. But Myler with a terrific day, 9 of 11 passing for 178 yards and a touchdown. Congratulations to Sacred Heart Academy, 42-21 winners to win the Division 8 championship. When we come back, we'll look at the first half numbers and the first half highlights from the Division 2 championship. And still to come, a visit with the legendary coach John Harrington as we roll on Fox Sports Detroit. The Red Arrows of Lowell trying to put titles back-to-back. They're 14-10 on top of Farmington Hills Harrison, looking for an unprecedented 13th state championship. We welcome you back to Ford Field. John Keating with Herman Moore. Well, different ways of getting things done for each of these teams, although you can't really pick one way over the other, can you? They've both been successful. Yeah, they both have really done what they do best. You know, for Harrison, it's throwing the football. For Lowell, it's running the football, and they've both proven to be very effective. It's all going to come down to defensively, which team is going to be able to stop the other team's offense. The only score in the first half was put up by Harrison, a most impressive drive, and Tommy Vento went to the air. Yeah, he hooked up with Burbridge quite a bit early in the first drive. This was a great tandem and combination, able to move the ball down the field very effectively, ultimately ending up in a touchdown. Now, Lowell didn't throw the ball much, and they didn't need to because they had Gabe Dean lugging the rock for most of the first half, and the guy who won a state championship last year, very impressive in the first half today. Yeah. Gabe Dean did an excellent job of getting the ball in the end zone twice in the first half, showed explosive running, also keeping the chains moving, did an excellent job of really getting the ball down the field. Harrison came back late in the first half. They tacked on a field goal, and that gets us to 14-10 at the break. And you see, you know, the rushing yards and the passing yards are the big things that jump off from that particular page of graphic information. Just different styles of getting it done. And Noel Dean said, shucks, we're just happy that we're in this game. Yeah, you know what? Both teams have played very well. I've been very impressed, especially with the way Lowell has really handled the football. They put a lot of pressure on Harrison's defense because they've had the ball so long. In the second quarter alone, had it over 9 minutes. How much do you put on the fact that Lowell has been here. So has Farmington Hills Harrison. And when you've been here, you kind of know what to expect. You don't have to look around. You're not in awe of your surroundings.
But they did a good job of in the first quarter. You know, Harrison came out very explosive. Lowell was able to say, you know what, they took a deep breath. Coach calmed his team down and said, you know what, let's get back to basics. They started running the football very effectively, got back into the football game and really controlled it. And defensively, have done a very good job of shutting down Harrison.
All right, we've got a terrific game to decide the Division II championship. Lowell hasn't thrown it much, but when they have thrown it, well, they've had results just like this. We'll continue with halftime from Ford Field. The MHSAA football finals are brought to you by Grand Valley State University, celebrating 50 years of shaping lives. Back in Ford Field, John Gidding and Herman Moore upstairs. John Harrington, the legendary coach of Farmington Hills Harrison, joins us downstairs. Anything surprise you in the first half?
Well, I knew they'd bring a lot of pressure, but it surprised me we didn't protect a little better. And we misaligned a couple times. We got to get in the right alignment against their formations. If we do that, we should be all right.
Hey, Coach, how will you look to handle the pressure that they're bringing? Early on in the football game, you're able to get the ball down the field. Now they're bringing the pressure. Are you going to look to bring and leave someone in the backfield?
We're trying to shorten down our routes and throw shorter routes, and we're still throwing the ball a little bit earlier than we have to. So we adjusted our protection a little bit, but they're bringing a lot of people, and we do need to run the ball a little bit and try to establish something there, that's for sure.
John, what's your sense of your team in the locker room at halftime?
Well, I think they're fine. I think they're a little bit stunned. We haven't been behind too much, but they knew this was going to be that kind of a game. So I think they'll come out ready to play.
John, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
All right. Thank you.
John Harrington. Farmington Hills Harrison rarely find themselves on the wrong end of a score heading into the third quarter. Aaron Burbridge and his teammates trying to do something about that. Well, John Harrington just smiled when he talked about his team's sense of self in their locker room. What was going on in Gabe Dean's locker room with his uncle trying to fire his guys up into the third quarter?
Understand, you play for each other, you got nothing to lose. Don't play for yourself, play for your brother. Got it? We'll go out there in the second half, we'll get after them. All right? Cinderella story. Here we are, huh?
Can you be the Cinderella story if you're the defending state champs? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Whatever a coach has to say that he thinks will work with his guys is, what needs to be said. But I don't think Farmington Hills Harrison considers Lowell to be a Cinderella story. We appreciate Noel Dean for allowing us a peek into his team's locker room, and his team has a 14-10 lead on Harrison as we begin the third quarter. John Harrington, the only coach that Farmington Hills Harrison has known since the school opened in 1970. And there is Matt Houston, favored target of Gabe Dean when Gabe Dean chooses to throw the football. He's among those back. Lowell will start the second half, it would seem, with the football. Jake Meyer, the other deep man for the Red Arrows. Hands go up, hands hit the thighs. And we are back to football at Ford Field. Another short kick. Lyman with all the way to the 37-yard line. The short man comes up with the football as they kind of pooch it downfield. A 14-yard return after a very short kick, and great field position for Lowell. Gabe Dean, Leighton Watson, Jake Meyer, the offensive standouts thus far for the Red Arrows, as they have been for much of Lowell's season. 125 yards for the quarterback, the senior quarterback of Lowell. Watson with a pitch. Finding some tough yards around the left side. He's knocked down by Mario Ojamudia and Lamar Marshall.
That's the first time we've seen a pitch out from Lowell this game. They've been more or less sticking with the veer attack and running right into the line of scrimmage, trying to get some yards on the outside. Pretty good gain on first down, picking up 4 yards.
2nd and 6 now after a gain of 4 by Leighton Watson, the senior running back. Gabe Dean only a junior. Watson straight ahead. More positive yards before Derek Head comes up with a knockdown. You can see the power in Leighton Watson's upper legs, can't you?
Oh, you can. And then, you know, one thing that Harrison's really got to do is they got to get some pad level. They got to get up under the line and really push these guys back, because right now they allow Lowell to continue the rushing attempts and the attack that they put on in the first half. You know, they eat a lot of time off this clock.
2 of 3 have the red arrows gone on third down conversions, short little tries, and this one may get there, but it's a bit of a struggle. We'll see where they spot it. John Harrington told us at halftime about just filling some gaps, and might see an indication of that right there.
You see him stuff him right here, holding him back. You know, he might get a little bit of a push there at the end to try and get close to the first down, but I think he's still short, bringing up, you know, making him a little bit short on this drive. But that's what Harrison's got to do. They can't allow that attack to continue as it did in the first half, because they're an explosive offense, and while they can put points up on the board very quickly, when you start to let a team chew up a lot of clock and continue to put points on the board, that puts you in a tough situation.
The naked eye tells us that it's a little bit short, but my naked eyes haven't been what they once were, so it is just a little bit short, a few links short. And it'll be 4th down for Lowell. And if you know, they went for it on 4th and 1 from deep in their own territory. They're sure as heck going for it 4th and inches from their own 45-yard line, almost to the 46. Big play in the football game. Harrison looking for a stop to turn momentum back in their direction. Watson behind Dean. Watson gets the football. Watson gets a first down. Rumbling down the sideline to the 22-yard line before Vento and Hall bring him down. The 4th down offense of Lowell has been a terrific weapon for the Red Arrows.
On 4th down, they've gone for it twice and have come up big with big runs. First, you got Watson taking it all the way down. I like the way he keeps his eyes up the field, protecting the football for the long gain. They've been very explosive coming out of the running attack on 4th down.
There's an injured Hawk on the field. Evan Patton, linebacker. And we won't speculate on what might be troubling Evan, but still to come from Ford Field, the Division 6 final. Will Pittman Rose St. Mary's Catholic Central against Ithaca. Williamston against Grand Rapids Catholic Central to follow. That game will air on tape delay later tonight at 10 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Those two games brought to you by the very talented tandem of Matt Shepard and Rob Rubik on these very cable airwaves. And we're delighted to have them with us later today. We're delighted to have you with us right now. 14-10. Lowell on top of Farmington Hills Harrison. And as they attend to an injured Hawk, we'll take a break. We'll continue on Fox Sports Detroit. We're happy to report that Evan Patton walked off the field under his own power. Lowell's drive resumes now. Watson inside the 15-yard line. Derek Head with another tackle. Leighton Watson just sort of wearing down the Hawks' defensive front.
It's good blocking up front. He's going to open up lanes. He gets it to the line so quick that the guys in the secondary are the next defenders, and by then he's already picking up 6, 7, 8 yards on the run. This attack has been very impressive, and the offensive line is doing a very good job.
2nd and 2 after a gain of 8. Dean! Touchdown! More misdirection from Lowell. Farmington Hills Harrison going for the ball carrier coming through the line, and Dean took it in. And they add to their lead in the Division II championship game. His 3rd rushing touchdown today.
2 things makes this happen. You keep going after Watson because he's been doing a lot of damage on the drive. Great job by Dean in putting the ball in there and then pulling it back out, almost like an option, whether or not he gets to hand it off or keep it, decides to keep it, runs it in for the touchdown untouched.
The extra point is up and good. 21-10 now. Lowell has extended their lead over Farmington Hills Harrison as the second half continues. .9:34 to play in the third quarter here in the Division II championship after another Lowell touchdown, the third of the day for Gabe Dean. 14-yard touchdown scamper right there. Wrapped up a 6-play, 64-yard drive. And Lowell back in control of this one. Farmington Hills Harrison, though, with so much offense. Another short kickoff. That seems to be sort of the theme of the day. It's Jake Bento, and he'll get it out to about the 23-yard line. And from there, Farmington Hills Harrison will take over. And even though Lowell has extended their lead to 11 points, Sam Young is among those concerned about this high-powered Hawks offense.
Oh, you know, they're extremely athletic, and watching film, the receivers are very good. So, I mean, our defensive coordinator, Jason Kai, he works his magic, and, you know, he's a very aggressive guy when he calls the plays, and I like his style.
A terrific smile from Sam Young. He's going to have to grit his teeth a little bit as Harrison will take back over. Handoff inside to Derek Head. And that fooled no one on the Red Arrows defense. Take a look at Farmington's offensive leaders thus far. Gain of 1. Tommy Vento, of course, has been the man in terms of pushing the football down the field for Harrison all season long. 12 of 23 today with 187 yards and a score. Burbridge his primary target. Brother Jake in there as well. 2nd and 9 now for the Hawks. That full house backfield. Pitch to Burbridge. Looking for some running room around the left side. Sort of stumbled forward for a gain of about 2. Sam Young, from whom we just heard, part of the group defending on that play.
You know, Harrison coming out, really trying to give a little bit of a mix here. He's getting a lot of pressure off of the edges against the passing attack. They're trying to mix it up and try and throw Lowell off a little bit, but not able to do so. The defense is standing in there pretty tough, now putting them into another situation of having to pass the football.
Yeah, that was kind of student body left with her. 3rd and 7 now for Harrison. Vento up top, got a man. Oh, he had all kinds of running room, did Devin Funchess. He found a seam in the defensive backfield of the Red Arrows, but the pass was just beyond his reach. And Lowell dodged a bullet right there.
Yeah, it was tough. You got his receiver Funchess coming off the edge on the inside seam wide open, but again, pressure is what disrupts the passing attack. Bento having to get the ball out a lot quicker than he wanted to. That could have resulted in a big play for Harrison.
At Houston back deep, as it would seem that Harrison will punt, and that they do. Houston's fair catch has Lowell taking over at 32-yard line of the Red Arrows. And we encourage you to get the latest on your favorite teams at FoxSportsDetroit.com. An experienced team of writers and reporters cover the pro and college ranks, plus watch live streaming of select MHSAA championship events. Get more exclusive stories, analysis, videos, and much more. It's all available now at FoxSportsDetroit.com. The quarterback for Farmington Hills Harrison, Tommy Vento, he's not liking how this feels right now. So he's trying to fire up his teammates to get back into this game. Lowell looking to add to their 11-point lead. There's a flag on the play. Holding against Lowell after a rushing attempt. Gained about 3 yards, but that's coming back. And astonishingly, that is the first flag called against the Red Arrows in the entirety of the game. That's how you win championships.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, still first down.
That's really good discipline, being that we're midway, almost midway through third quarter. For that to be your first penalty, the team's playing very mistake-free football. We haven't seen any turnovers. That's going to be a key, you know, if Harrison's going to get back into it. They got to put a little pressure on him up front. They got to start to stuff the running game. and not allow them to continue this rushing attack.
Trips right for Lowell. Instead, they hand off inside to Leighton Watson. That's generally what they have done. Lowell give it to Watson. They'll sort of nickel and dime you a little bit. A couple of yards here, a couple of yards there, and then he'll pop through for runs longer than that. He's been a big part of the Lowell offense here today.
And we'll see what happens. Being that they're in second and long situation, they haven't been really faced with that so far in the football game. Haven't had to really go to the passing attack because the running game has been so good.
On 2nd and 14. Dean to the air. It's picked off. Lamar Marshall had it. And it's Farmington Hills Harrison football. Lamar Marshall held on to the ball as Dean went up top. They haven't thrown it much. But from the 45-yard line of Lowell, the Hawks are in business.
Yeah, Dean's looking for someone. He's got good protection. Gets it up there. Great diving attempt. Ball comes out at the end, but it looks like they're saying he had possession with that and being down by contact with the ground.
Reed Stormsand, the intended target. But now Tommy Vento has the Hawks. An end around to Burbridge. Flag on the play. Lowell is not particularly fooled by that. And it seems to be against Harrison.
And coming around trying to get the reverse. Got some blockers out there. See the hold taking place at the bottom of the screen.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Nice job of staying home for Jordan Drake. We talked in, I guess we were impressed by the fact that Lowell had yet been called for a penalty before the one just called against them. Sure that's still something that eats up the Lowell coaching staff, and another penalty goes against Harrison there and pushes them back into their own territory. Vento back to the shotgun. Got a man. Burbridge trying to make tacklers miss, and he'll find first down yardage, and there is a face mask call, and so they'll tack on to the 13 yards they just picked up.
It's a good out route by Burbridge, hooking up with his quarterback. See the fast face mask come in at the end of the play.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Jake Meyer got a hand in there, and so Harrison's knocking on the door yet again. And the football will come deep into Lowell territory, all the way to the 22-yard line. It's not crisis time yet for Harrison, but they'd love a score right here to sort of wrest momentum back in their direction. 1st and 10. Back under center is Vento. Another flag.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's a popular item on the menu today, that encroachment call.
You can see the offsides at the top.
Well, that'll cause coaches to have ulcers. That kind of thing right there in the championship game. 1st and 5 now for Harrison. Vento hands off. Straight ahead goes Austin Hunter. We've not said his name much here this afternoon. 5'9", and 190-pound junior. He had a couple of touchdowns in their semifinal win. Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 3.
Coach Harrington said that he didn't want to come back out and necessarily do the same thing because of the pressure that Lowell was bringing against the passing attack. Even though they were going 3-step drop, He's trying to mix in the run a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised at some point, the defensive backs are starting to sit on the routes on the outside, knowing that it's 3-step routes with the pressure, that you don't get some pump fake coming.
Late substitution. Vento settles everybody down. Play action. He's hit just as he delivers the football and didn't deliver it as well as he would have liked. For that reason, Jake Staley coming in and crawling up the back of the quarterback, Tommy Vento.
There's been pressure all game. Lowell again bringing it with their linebackers off the edge. They brought corners, they brought linebackers. They keep giving them different looks up front, and it's confusing them on their pickup. They're trying to roll the quarterback out on that last one and still able to get pressure and get to the quarterback.
Harrison looking to convert yet another 3rd down. Successful on 3 of 7 opportunities thus far. That's Jake Vento in motion. Pressure from Lowell. Straight ahead goes the running back, Austin Hunter. And he will be near 1st down yardage. Yeah, they'll give it to him. Just enough for the 1st down, and so the Hawk drive continues.
He has enough room here. If he breaks through, he actually ends up rolling and getting the 1st down. Got a little bit of room there, one defender to make a miss if he's able to keep his balance.
From the 12, down by 11. The Hawks back in business. Straight ahead goes the running back. Gain of just a couple for Austin Hunter. And he has run on 3 successive plays here for the Hawks after having not touched the football to this point in the game.
Harrison's doing a little bit out of the playbook of Lowell and sticking to the running game so far. We haven't seen him throwing that much in the 2nd half. Really trying to make a commitment here to running the football and getting positive yards on 1st and 2nd down. That'll give you a little bit more diversity too, and gives the defense something else to try and defend.
Yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta have balance, don't you? Vento will throw it this time to the corner of the end zone. Burbridge, touchdown! What a pass from Tommy Vento to Aaron Burbridge. Again, a touchdown toss of 10 yards. And back storms the Hawks of Farmington Hills Harrison.
You got one-on-one. He's going to take a step inside. Quarterback's looking to throw it as a fade to the backside. Excellent adjustment by the receiver to pick up the football to his outside. That's a great job. Tommy loves it. Harrison's back in the game.
It's 21-16 now with a point after try still to come. Brandon Buckner out of a Vento hold. They'll fake it. Vento will throw it. The conversion try is no good. It is ruled incomplete. Devin Funchess, the intended target. Ren Osborne among the defenders.
Fake field goal. Jake's going to roll out. He's looking for someone, throws it low. Ball's there. Unfortunately, the receiver's not able to get his hands up under it. Funchess is trying to dig it out, trying to get his hands down beneath. Ball hits the turf.
Interesting to note that the 2 Vento guys were actually competing for the starting quarterback job. And head coach John Harrington had to talk to their dad, Mark, about which one was going to get there. Hey, believe it or not, this Hawks team almost didn't make it out of the opening round. In a matchup with fellow Metro Detroit Power Brother Rice, Harrison trailed by 4 late. They were driving for the game-winning score. Vento threw an interception. In a stunning twist, though, Rice fumbled attempting to run the clock out, and Vento scooped up the loose ball and returned it for a Harrison touchdown. A pick 6 on the next possession gave the Hawks a 37-27 win. A huge comeback for Harrison, and that was in the first round of the playoffs. And many people who follow high school football in the state were saying, what? Harrison against Brother Rice in the first round of the playoffs? That's a matchup that normally you would see here at Ford Field. But John Harrington beat Al Fracassa on that day, and the rest is playoff history. And all of a sudden, Harrington's Hawks back in business, down by 5 in the 3rd quarter with 4:13 to play in the 3rd. Houston and Sam Steed are back for the Red Arrows of Lowell. And it'll be Brandon Buckner to kick it off for Farmington Hills Harrison. Another short kick. To tell you who the deep backs are for no particular reason, because nobody's kicked it deep in this game. Blake Lyman getting the football, and he'll get it back to the 45-yard line. The broadcast of this game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Fox Sports Detroit. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the images, descriptions, or accounts of this game may take place without express written consent. 21-16, we've got the game that we hope for here in the Division II Championship. Lowell taking back over. 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Gabe Dean back at it. Leighton Watson rather. It was Dean the ball carrier, check that. Gain of 1. And Mario Ojemudia with a stop.
That ball almost popped out. He's had an opportunity. It looks like each time he sticks the ball in there, he has the option of either handing it off to the running back or keeping it. On that one, looks like he wanted to leave it in there. He wasn't quite sure. He was able to fall on it.
That's why I was never a defensive lineman. I'm tackling the first guy that I see. 2nd and 9 after a gain of about a half yard on 1st down. Dean off tackle. He'll lose it this time. Who's got it? Mike Race has the football, and Farmington Hills Harrison causes the turnover. Yet another turnover caused, this time from Derek Hand.
We've seen pretty good football so far. It's gotten a little sloppy the last 2 possessions. Ball comes loose. Ball has not been on the ground in the first half. So far in the second half, 2 times turnovers. Harrison is back in business on 50-yard line.
At midfield, Harrison now down 5 takes over. Vento under center. Delayed handoff. Burbridge finding some running room. Out of bounds, he will go. Well, he got a great spot, I think. Jake Meyer and Blake Lyman with a stop after a gain of 25.
At the blocking up front, Burbridge, we've called his name in receiving the football, but running the football, you see the explosiveness, getting outside. He can make one more guy miss. He's got some blockers downfield. Results in a bigger gain. Harrison now has the momentum, and they're moving the ball.
Mike Race, who just recovered that fumble, also a big block there to spring Aaron Burbridge. He now has 154 yards of total offense in today's game. There he is in motion. The Burbridge, his swing pass, trying to pick his way through Red Arrow defenders inside the 20.
Burbridge is going to come in motion to the right, looking for the receiver screen. He's got some blockers out in front. He's able to get positive yards. You see a different play selection so far this half by Harrison, in which they're trying to mix it up, keep the defense off balance, not allow them to key on when they're going to pass and when they're going to run, and bring the blitz.
And there's a shot of Gabe Dean. Almost disconsolate after the fumble put Harrison back on offense with a chance to take the lead. Vento pump fakes, trying to find a receiver. He's got no one in that direction. He is dragged down by Jake Staley. Everything went right. Really no receivers in front of him. And in that instance, Vento had to eat it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a chess match. He wanted to go up top to Burbridge. He was well covered. They were looking to go up top with the pump fake. They brought the extra defender, the safeties up there playing up top, not allowing that to happen.
Loss of 6 on the play. 3rd down. for Harrison. Big play in the football game right here. Little misdirection. Jake Vento makes one defender miss, but he is slugged down at that point after a gain of about 3. Johnny Destiny among those greeting him.
Now, this is play flow. Realizing, you know what, you got a guy coming underneath, 2 guys pulling on the other side, but defensively it's pursuit to the ball. Look at the tackle, look at the hit, not allowing, after the initial contact, any more yardage.
So from the 20-yard line, if they were to try a field goal, that's a 37-yarder. And instead, they'll go for it on 4th and 5. From the shotgun. Quick pass from Vento. He's got a receiver. Inside the 5 goes his brother Jake. Pitch and catch for Farmington Hills Harrison, gain of 18.
It's a good combination route up top. You got to clear out at the top, and then you got a quick out on the bottom by Jake. Vento able to make the first guy miss, get extra yardage down the field, inside the 5-yard line. Excellent recognition of getting the ball out by Tommy.
First and goal from the 2. Handoff. Almost to the goal line goes Austin Hunter. Just shy of it, he will be marked. 2nd and inches, it would seem.
Pushing up front. He's got a little bit of a lane, tries to dive there to get there, just inches short of the goal line. Harrison doing a very good job, again, mixing it up in this drive, not committing too much to the pass, getting the run involved, and it's paid off for him in this drive.
Austin Hunter's 5'9". He would have killed to be 5'11" right there. Push straight ahead. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Quarterback keeper. And Farmington Hills Harrison has their first lead of the game.
It's just lining up and pushing. Quarterback's going to keep it for the quarterback keeper. Able to get and cross the plane of the goal.
Tommy Vento, who has been firing up his teammates on the sideline and right in the face of his head coach, offering suggestions on, I think we can do this. This is what I see. He'll take it the final few inches there. And they have a 22-21 lead. And Harrison will go for 2. Full house backfield. Play fake to the end zone. Got it. The conversion try is good. It's Burbridge again. The combination of Tommy Vento and Aaron Burbridge continues to click, as it does with Tommy and Jake. And 2 more points go on the Harrison board.
Yeah, Burbridge going to line up as almost like a tight end. Goes up high, picks it out of the air, plucks it with those mitts. Man, he's got great hands.
All right, you just got a peek of Tommy Vento there, the good-looking lad that he is. Let's talk to him right now about how he feels his place in the storied program of Farmington Hills Harrison feels to him.
There's no greater feeling. I mean, we all couldn't sleep last night just thinking about it. You know, there's a lot of things that factor in. It's state championship, you know, Ford Field, 13-0 going in, but that's not what it's all about. It's about, you know, we're 0-0 heading into this week, hope to be headed out 1-0. And, you know, it feels great wearing the Harrison right across the front of the jersey because it means a lot. And it doesn't just mean a lot to the 40 guys on the team. It means a lot to the coaches. It means a lot to the alumni. It means a lot to the fans. And we just want to give them a good show and give ourselves a reason to wear the jersey proudly.
Wearing the eye black that says whatever it takes. And it took a drive right there. And Farmington Hills Harrison on top 24-21. Now Lowell will try to answer. There's a loose football. It's on the ground. Harrison's got it again. Rust with the recovery on the play. There are flags on the field. Tommy Vento's heart is about to come out of his chest.
It just goes right through. That's just taking your eye off of the football. Recovered by Harrison.
It will be Harrison's football on recovery of a fumble. We have a dead ball, personal foul on a receiving team, be first down, 15 yards.
Okay, so as they sort all of that out, we have reached the end of the third quarter. It will give us a chance to sort of reload here as we head in the direction of the fourth. What a game we have in store for you here at Ford Field. John Keating and Herman Moore back with you as Farmington Hills Harrison looks to add to their lead. In the first play of the fourth quarter, they've taken a surprising lead on Lowell's turnovers have become a big part of this football game. There's Jake Vento looking for some running room around the left side, but finding none of it. He's knocked out of bounds by Mac Houston after a rather significant loss. Noel Dean has not seen his team do much of this all season. Certainly did not see much of it in today's game, but in the second half, 3 turnovers and 3 penalties have led to a rather dramatic turn of events in the Division II championship game. Loss of 7. Second and 17 now for Harrison. Back to the shotgun now for Tommy Vento. Back to the air. Nice catch out there by Coleman. But not much positive yardage there at all as Red Osborne wraps him up quickly. 3rd and 15 now for the Hawks.
Trying on the outside on the right. We saw it earlier with Jake Vento. Tommy to Jake, but on this one they're trying to get that same clear on the outside, quick out route. Doesn't result in many. Only 1 yard on that play.
Third and 15. Does the out pass set up something else for John Harrington's guys? 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Vento lofts the pass and it's caught. Jake Vento, touchdown. 56 yards from brother to brother. A rainbow from one to the other. And a Harrison touchdown has them up 30-21.
On this one, you got receivers sitting down on the outside, corner route up top. It was a really bad angle by the defender and trying to go after this football. Takes the wrong approach. Allows Jake Vento to get behind him on the corner route for the touchdown.
The extra point try now for Brandon Buckner. It is up and good. Well, this game was certainly not one-sided, but you almost felt like it was heading in the direction of Lowell's way. Harrison has stormed back with some help from Lowell, and we still anticipate a shootout in the final moments here at Ford Field. The MHSAA football finals are brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. I am very rarely right about anything, but we anticipated a terrific football game here in the Division II championship, and that it has been. 3 Lowell turnovers have been cashed in for 21 Farmington Hills Harrison points, and the Hawks lead the Red Arrows 31-21 with under 11 to play in the football game. Buckner will kick it off. High and short. Fair catch there. And now Tommy Vento talks about the sort of special nature of playing on a football team with your brother as one of your favorite targets.
Scoring points is a great feeling, regardless of if it's to Jake or Aaron or Devin or whoever. And when our defense scores, makes my job a lot easier too. So, you know, just any way that we can put points on the board is nice, and it's even better when I can do it to my brother.
And here it was. Tommy lofting it out there to Jake and into the end zone. And now Lowell comes back. Handoff inside to Watson. And now all fueled by this explosion of points, the Hawks stuff that run. No gain, 2nd and 10.
What Lowell really has to do right here is really focus on getting back into this football game. Don't have the turnovers, don't have the penalties, and really play their style of football. If you start to press a little bit right here, you'll get out of rhythm, and you'll get out of whack, and it will lead to more turnovers and more penalties. So for them, it's playing what they know best. If it's going to be the running attack, it's got to be that, and they can't allow this fact that they've gotten behind so quickly really play a factor.
Indeed, he can throw it. He does throw it. Ball's tipped up and picked off yet again. Derek Head with a pick. Another turnover. The ball was tipped by Jake Vento. And the Hawks take over under 10 to go now. Up by 10.
He's trying to find someone on the outside. There's just a lot of congestion here, a lot of people in the same place battling for one football. Ball gets tipped up in the air. Look who comes away with it, Harrison, for the 4th straight turnover.
From the 43 of the Red Arrows, Tommy Vento back in business. Handoff. Now they'll try to burn some clock. Austin Hunter into the defensive secondary of the Red Arrows, and they have to sort of fight themselves to make sure that they don't begin to sag a little bit. An 18-yard gain for Hunter all the way to the 25-yard line of Lowell.
You almost get the sense that they have started to salt down just a little bit, because on the sideline you can see the enthusiasm when they were ahead and they were really pouring it on. It's completely subsided, and now it's all on the Harrison side. It's not only transferred from the offensive unit, but to the defensive unit and back and forth.
1st and 10 from the Hawks. Handoff. Hunter picking his way to the 20. Gain of 5. Here's Watson credited with a tackle. It's interesting here that the Lowell Red Arrows are primarily a running team, but certainly they can pass it. Down by 10, they don't want to get much further down than 10 against a team like Harrison, which has found another gear here in the 2nd half. We got sort of an aw shucks from John Harrington. As always, he knew something we might not have known. 2nd and 5. Another handoff. The clock is their enemy at this point. Hunter again, twisting his way to the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short for the Hawks there.
2 very effective runs on 1st and 2nd down, getting 4 yards and 5 yards. Able to put them in a 3rd and short situation to continue to chop away at this clock, which, as you mentioned, for Lowell, that's their enemy right now. They have to be able to have a stop here. They cannot allow any more points to get put on the board, especially not a touchdown in this situation.
And the clock is the enemy for both teams, it would seem. We got another running play. We'll see this a bunch now as Harrison pushes forward for another 1st down. Hunter again. Not heard from at all, really, through the 1st half of this game, and suddenly a big part of the offensive push for the Hawks. Up by 10, just north of 8 minutes to play.
Lowell's defense was really tough against the run for the first 2.5 quarters. Now they're giving up some yards. You're starting to see the push and the momentum on the offensive line for Harrison really start to pound down on this defensive unit for Lowell, not really having to resort to any type of a passing game and continue to pound away at the clock.
Another set of downs for the Hawks. Another Austin Hunter run. And into the end zone. The game has become rather one-sided here in the second half. Turnovers a huge part of the comeback of Farmington Hills Harrison against the defending champs.
Really good kick out block by the running back, number 24. Able to take it all the way into the end zone. That was just momentum. That was all momentum on that drive. Momentum's on Harrison's side.
Give credit to Derek Head for the block that sprung Austin Hunter on that play. The point after is good. 38-21 is Harrison's lead now on the Red Arrows of Lowell. Big smiles over there amidst the green and gold. Here in the Division II championship game, Lowell had a 21-10 lead on Farmington Hills Harrison, but all of a sudden, turnovers led to all kinds of offensive chances for Farmington Hills Harrison, and 28 unanswered points have turned this game back around.
It's been basically turnover, score, turnover, score, turnover, score, turnover, score, and that's really put Harrison back, not just in this football game, but complete and total control of this football game. It came by way of pass, it came by way of run. It's been all over the place, and it's just been a bad turn of events for Lowell, who came out and they were doing such a great job, but no turnovers in the first half, no penalties, and then all of a sudden in the second half, it just turned into just a great game for Harrison coming back.
Yeah, the tipped pass interception are the ones that you sort of bite the inside of your cheek about, because it was a pass that Gabe Dean probably wishes he hadn't thrown, but it's tipped up, and at that point it's anybody's gets, and of course all of the gets are going in the way of Harrison these days. That ball almost fumbled. A couple of red arrows have to fall on it. Matt Houston coming up with it. We mentioned that it was 21-10. Lowell had the lead, and that's when Tommy Vento, well, pardon the pun, vented on the Harrison sideline. And then all of a sudden, this kid with all this leadership seemed to get his guys going. Maybe it's a coincidence. All of the turnovers began happening at that point, and the game turned over as well. But Lowell's got lots of power in this offense. Can Gabe Dean rally his troops down by 10 with 7.5 to play? From the shotgun, Dean will find some running room. And Harrison will give him those kinds of runs. He's out of bounds at about the 41-yard line after a gain of 11.
They're going to have to get some chunk yards here to get back into the football game. I mean, there's time on the clock, but they know that at some point, unless there's turnovers by Harrison, they're going to have to get them in and off of the field when their offense comes back on in the event that they score.
They're only down 38-21, so a quick score is almost a mandate here to give them some life. Dean again, finding a little bit of running room. And at this point, Harrison is in sort of the containment mode. And Huckleby with the stop. And a hurry-up situation for the Red Arrows. 2nd and 3 now. 102 yards rushing for Gabe Dean. He's going to need some through the air here if his team is to get back in this one. Here comes the blitz, and down he goes. Funches right there to cover him. Loss of the play to the 40-yard line.
Funches is to come right off of the edge. He's uncovered, no block. Able to come in and get the sack. Gabe Dean feels the pressure coming in. You know, when you know that the team has to pass the football and get those yards, you can kind of lay back a little bit defensively.
3rd and 11. Dean to the air. Jacob Meyer into enemy territory, close to first down yardage. And they're taking a peek at this one. Will the chains move? And about a half yard for the Red Arrows. First down yardage. Tackled on the play by Mark Holding. A loose ball. And it's recovered by Lowell's own lineman. Lots of bodies down there. And there's a stoppage of play right now. Noel Dean is trying to get the officials' attention for something here. We'll watch, we'll wait. Three-time champion is Lowell in the last 9 years. Trying to add a fourth to that. And we'll play on. First down for the Red Arrows. Down by 17. Dean up top. Little out pattern. He's got a man. More first down yardage. Jake Meyer with the reception. And playing with some urgency now are the Red Arrows.
Yeah, they have to. They have to continue to move the ball, move the chains. 10+ yards in each play if possible.
Under 5.5 now. Dean straight ahead. Fakes handoff. Head with the stop. And this is perfectly fine with Farmington Hills Harrison, you gotta believe. Do that thing that you do, but we'll keep you out of the end zone as long as we can. Backpedaling is Dean. Now forward. He's got a man. Touchdown! Blake Lyman took it away from the defender. 27 yards. The touchdown connection.
Good job by Lyman. He sees his quarterback scrambling, comes back across the field, gets the ball his highest point, focuses in on the tip, pulls it down for the touchdown. That's what Lowell needs to do to get back into the football game. You gotta just chip away at it. You can't get it all obviously in one drive. And that's an excellent execution on their side and getting up and hurrying up and getting points on the board.
38-27 with a point after try to come. It's a 10-point game now. And during the course of our coverage today, you might have seen all these people in all that pink on the Red Arrow sideline. And that's an initiative established by Lowell's head coach, Noel Dean, to raise awareness and funds about breast cancer in his community. And beyond this, all of the kids are in. The student body is in. The team is in. In fact, the team plays a game wearing pink jerseys. Played against Kennewick Hills earlier this season, and money raised from t-shirt sales and the sales of jerseys worn in the game have helped to raise $700,000 over the course of the last 3 years. It's a big part of what they're doing in Lowell. It is among the proudest achievements that Noel Dean has, and this from a guy who has won 3 state championships. Congratulations to Coach Dean and all the fine people in Lowell in your efforts to raise money for breast cancer. I can tell you that I've been affected by that, and it is great work that you do. Noel Dean has said the crux of winning a state title is once you've done it once, it's hard to do anything but. Short little kickoff. And from the point of midfield, they'll take back over. And let's take you back to 2002. We mentioned Lowell enjoying some success, and Lowell fans certainly remember this. Mark Catlin running for 259 yards. He passed for another 153. At the time, he set the state record for the most yards by a player in a state championship game, 411 total yards. And Lowell went on to win that day against Brother Rice by a 31-14 final. And they will need some help to sort of add to the mystique of Lowell football in this game. Down by 10, under 5 to play. Straight ahead is the handoff to Derek Head. Playing at fullback for the Hawks of John Harrington. They have won a state record 12 state championships. One here today would be the all-timer. And of course, all of those on teams coached by Harrington.
Lowell has an opportunity right now. They can hold Harrison from getting a first down and get the ball back, go down and get another quick score. It becomes a very interesting ball game, but they have to be able to get them off the field.
On 2nd and 9. Vento will pass. He's got a man. Head again. And out of bounds. A little surprising. And the pass stops the clock with 4:10 to play. That certainly keeps the Lowell defense honest.
It keeps them honest, and also you get your linebackers committing. They're thinking it's going to be a run.
Sure.
You allow the running back to sneak behind them, get a quick pitch out into the flat, turn up, get the first down. It's a good play call by the offensive coordinator.
Not a high degree of difficulty on that pass play. 1st and 10 for the Hawks. They're in red arrow territory. Back to the ground they go. Hunter squirming his way inside the 30. Now we're at 3.5 to go. Gain of 4 on the play. Farmington Hills Harrison is trying to run some clock here. And trying to complete a perfect season. 13-0. They beat Rice, they beat Berkeley, they beat De La Salle, and they steamrolled Grosse Pointe South to get to Ford Field. They have a 10-point lead on Lowell with 3 minutes left in the Division II championship game. Hunter. Completely content to work his way to the 22-yard line. Jake Staley brought him down. We mentioned Grosse Pointe South. And there you see the Division VI final and the Division IV final still to come here at Ford Field. It's Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central against Ithaca. Williamston against Grand Rapids Catholic Central. That game will air on tape delay at 10 o'clock tonight. If you're coming to the game, they're still scheduling it at 7:30 here at Ford Field. But for those of you at home, it'll be on television at 10 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit after the Pistons and the Red Wings games on our air. Now, we mentioned Grosse Pointe South a little bit earlier. They just dismantled them. Tommy Vento threw for 253 yards and 2 scores in this game. Jake Vento, a big part of that game as well as this one. The Hawks special teams got involved as well, blocking a punt that was returned for a touchdown. And in the end, Harrison rolled Grosse Pointe South 51-0 to get to Ford Field. And perhaps at that point, they had an inkling that this would truly be something special here. Didn't look so special, Herman, at the beginning of today's game as Lowell looked very, very impressive, but this game has turned about.
Yeah, it's turned about. What we, again, we didn't see the penalties and we didn't see the turnovers in the first half by Lowell or either team, but we've seen it quite a bit in the second half, and that's been the difference.
Another first down from the 20 for the Hawks, and inside the 20 goes Austin Hunter, and he has become the go-to guy as they try to milk some clock and pocket yet another state championship.
Knew that Coach Noel Dean was going to start to have to burn some of the timeouts that he has. At this point, you keep letting the clock just tick down. Not going to be any time left. There's always a question of when to take that timeout or start to use those, but this is probably a smart time to do it. You don't want it to just get down, and if you do have an opportunity to get a turnover, get the ball back, you want to be able to have some time on the clock to be able to kind of move a little bit.
Well, let's throw some more numbers at you, and we'll speak to the degree of excellence that John Harrington has instilled there at Farmington Hills Harrison. And is he on the verge of a 13th state title? And we look at most state titles won throughout all divisions, all levels of play, all sizes of school. And Harrison right now tied with the Portis with East Grand Rapids, who still will play here at Ford Field tomorrow, looking to add to their impressive total. Catholic Central, Muskegon Catholic Central, Lumen Christi, Brother Rice, some of the great names in Michigan high school football history, as you would expect, on that list. And there is John Harrington, the Dean of Michigan football coaches, along with Al Fracassa. And Noel Dean is a huge fan of John Harrington, who says he is as important as anyone in the state to football and kids here in the state of Michigan. Another play from off tackle to the 15-yard line. While we have just a moment, we can tell you that the MHSAA.TV will have live streaming coverage of the post-game press conferences from this game. Plus, you'll find an archive of all of this weekend's championship games. You can get bonus coverage of the football finals at MHSAA.TV. John Harrington still working his team's offense. He is a member of the Michigan Coaches Hall of Fame for football and for baseball. He's also a member of the National Coaches Association Hall of Fame. He earned that distinction way back in 1998. He is in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. He received his induction there in 2001. He was the National Football Coach of the Year in 2001 and 2002. He is finishing his 47th year of coaching and his 41st as the head football coach at Harrison, and closing in, it would seem, on a 13th state championship. Third down. Lowell needs a stop here. Hunter. He is right at first down yardage. Ren Osborne wrestles him to the ground. And in either case, they would go for it if it's not quite there yet. And they did not reach first down yardage. So fourth and just a skosh for Harrington and the Hawks.
Yeah, there's no more.
And they will take their time getting the play off. Lowell try to stuff this and take back the possession. Hunter leaps forward, and I believe he got just enough for the first down. To the air went Austin Hunter. We'll see where they mark it.
Looked like with his momentum, like he had enough there. It all depends on where they put the spot.
All right, make your call, Herman.
Well, it looks like a first down.
All right. All right. You're a younger man than I. Of course, everybody's a younger man than I. There you go.
1 for 1.
That is years of football expertise right there. There is no extra charge on your cable bill for that. Herman Moore nailed that one. First down for Farmington Hills Harrison, to the great dismay of Lowell. And all of a sudden, the defending state champs feel this one truly slipping away. Under 2 minutes to play now. There's Austin Hunter. She's been a big part of this ball possession game once the Hawks had control of the scoreboard. Full house backfield. Vetto taking his time. Straight ahead. Not much doing there for Austin Hunter, but that's fine for Harrison.
Yeah, they're going to be content with just running a ball straight up the middle, trying to run the clock off.
Lowell with no timeouts left. That could be your game.
More or less had to burn those timeouts, otherwise it would have been more or less the same situation. But you know, they needed to have a stop. Greatest play here in football. Everyone wants to do the victory formation.
Absolutely. Heel down for Tommy Vento. And finally, they can relax. Parents wearing the smiles. The Ventos wearing the smiles. And finally, the head coach wears a smile as well. One more snap, and that should do it. The party is on in Farmington. Again.
Another good football game. We knew it was going to be a tough, hard-fought match between two very competitive teams, two very good coaches, coaching staff. Ultimately turned out to be a different ball game once the penalties and the turnovers started to play a factor, which really proved to be a difference between the two football teams.
Farmington Hills Harrison with so much history. There's Harrington and Noel Dean meeting each other at the middle of the field, celebrating a well-fought, hard-fought game. Harrison from Farmington Hills wraps up a perfect 14-0 season with a 38-28 win, and our G Series recovered and repeat team is the Hawks. They have, from a team that went perfect this year, 13 returning starters coming back next year. 7 on offense, 6 on defense. It was 4 turnovers by Lowell that led to 28 unanswered points for Farmington Hills Harrison. And Herman Moore, that was your game?
Yeah, that was pretty much the game. Both teams played very well together, but ultimately came down to the mistake that were made by Lowell.
Hey, it's been great being with you. Happy holidays, everybody. For our entire crew and my partner Herman Moore, I'm John Keating. Our final score of the Division II title game, Farmington Hills Harrison 38. A 13th state title, Lowell 28. You've been watching the MHSAA football finals. So long for now from Ford Field in downtown Detroit.